Hi everyone, welcome to Lola's Frugal Life. This is episode number 212 and this is my weekly meal plan episode. So please stick around for a few quick words from our sponsor and we'll get right into the show. Today's episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. If there is something interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals, BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. You can start communicating in under 48 hours. It's not a crisis line, it's not self-help, it's professional counseling done securely online. There is a broad range of expertise available, which may not be available to you locally. The service is available for clients worldwide. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if needed. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit betterhelp.com/Lola, that's better H-E-L-P, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and Lola's Frugal Life listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Lola. Hi everyone, welcome back to my weekly meal plan. If you're new here, the reason I do this meal plan episode each week is just because I think meal planning is really important for saving money and wasting less food, and it just makes life easier by kind of knowing what's for dinner each night and not having to think about it when the time comes to start making dinner, or even the morning of trying to figure out what's going to be for dinner tonight. So I think it's an important part of a frugal life. And that's why I share this, to help you with some ideas for things you might make, or maybe just give you some inspiration to get your meal plan together. So this meal plan is only for dinners. I rotate my meals on a regular basis. So there's repetition for sure over the course of weeks. Like for example, every other Monday we do hamburgers. Every Tuesday is like a Mexican theme, and there's like 5 recipes that I rotate throughout. So I try and keep it really simple. But I do try and throw in some new things every once in a while, just to kind of add in a new side dish or maybe a main dish, and a little bit changes seasonally. But I do try and stick with kind of the same group of recipes for the most part, just to make it really easy for me to keep my meal plan going week after week. For myself, just to kind of say, okay, today we had hamburgers, 2 weeks from now, hamburgers is on the list. That day's done. So I kind of follow something like that. So I also want to let you know that the blog version of this meal plan with links to the recipes can be found on my website at lolasfrugallife.com. And just real quick, today is going to be the last day. You can enter my $5 Amazon gift card giveaway that I'm doing for the month of June 2021. So there's 2 ways to enter. The first way is to leave a review on Apple Podcasts and send me a screenshot of it via email. The second way is to screenshot the show, post a screenshot, and tag me on Instagram. Then email me to let me know that you tagged me on Instagram. Of course, I'll be able to see the tag, but I need the email in either situation, because that's the way I will get back to you with the digital gift card code if you win the $5 Amazon gift card. So you can email me at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com, and the winner will be randomly chosen from all entries received, and I'll contact you during the first week of July if you're the one that's chosen with the gift card code, so that you can get your $5. So this week's meal plan starts on Saturday, July 3rd. This meal plan episode comes out every Wednesday, and the meal plan starts on the upcoming Saturday. That way, if you were going to follow along with anything, you'd have enough time to get your ingredients together for any of the recipes. So for Saturday, I'm going to be doing Anna's amazing easy pleasy meatballs over buttered noodles. So this is just like a really simple recipe where you just take like frozen meatballs and you stick them in the crock pot, and it's just like it makes like a sauce with like cream of celery soup and French onion soup and sour cream. You know, it makes like one of those like a Swedish meatball type sauce over the meatballs. And then I'm going to serve that with buttered noodles. And then I'm also going to make on the side air fryer roasted cauliflower. Well, okay, so the recipe is called air fryer roasted cauliflower and broccoli. It's from allrecipes.com. But I usually choose one or the other, whichever one we haven't most recently had. because I just find that it's too much. Well, one, to store for one meal a whole head of cauliflower and a whole head of broccoli in my fridge just for one side dish. And we really don't need that much. My family doesn't eat like 2 heads of broccoli and cauliflower in one sitting. Plus, it's a lot to put in the air fryer. So I usually pick either the cauliflower or the broccoli, depending on whichever one I happen to choose for that week. So that's for Saturday. For Sunday, I'm going to be doing slow cooker potluck spare ribs. That's also from allrecipes.com. This is actually a new recipe that I haven't tried yet. It's going to be with pork spare ribs, and they're cooked in the crock pot with basically like a homemade barbecue sauce. It's got like ketchup, brown sugar, vinegar, honey, soy sauce, all that kind of stuff. And then you just let it cook in the crock pot all day. And then to serve with that, when the dinner's done at night, I'm just going to make 1 pot penne alla vodka, which is from foodnetwork.com. And it's just like a pretty simple way to make penne with vodka sauce. And what I like about this recipe is that you actually don't drain the pasta. Like, you just kind of, it's weird. Like, you kind of cook the pasta in the water, but then you add I forget exactly how you make it. I'm trying to remember, but I remember that I think it kind of cooks in the mixture of some water and then the tomatoes and whatever ingredients there are. It's been a really long time since I made it, but I remember not having to drain the pasta. You just kind of cook everything in one pot and you never have to dump it or drain it or anything. So it was kind of neat. This might only be the second time I'm making this recipe. It's been a while. But I remember it was really easy to make. So anyway, I'm going to be making that with the crockpot spare ribs. So that is actually for 4th of July. For Monday, July 5th, I'm going to be doing hamburgers. I don't really have a recipe for that. I just take ground beef and just make hamburger patties and cook it either on the stovetop or on the grill, depending on the weather. I'm also going to do homemade black bean veggie burgers for my one daughter that doesn't eat meat. That recipe is from allrecipes.com. And those bake in the oven. They're a really quick, easy homemade veggie burger recipe or black bean veggie burger recipe. I'm also going to do a can of pork and beans, and then I'm going to do easy oven roasted potatoes, which is from Pillsbury.com. And it's really just kind of like a sheet pan potato. I may or may not actually do it that way. Sometimes I'll just chop them up and then throw them in the air fryer, depending on if it's hot out that day or not. If it's hot out, most likely I'll definitely just throw them in the air fryer. But either way, it's roasted potatoes on the side. For Tuesday, I'm going to do sheet pan shrimp fajitas, which is from allrecipes.com. And this is just a really simple meal where you take shrimp and peppers and onions and some olive oil, and you just kind of toss it all together on a sheet pan. Now, I think this recipe calls for you to cook the shrimp separately and then do the peppers and onions separately and then kind of mix it together. I just threw it all together because that's kind of like what a sheet pan meal is. You don't want to do 2 separate things. I mean, I guess maybe there's a reason it might come out better, but I found it came out really good just by throwing it all together and cooking it that way. So that's for Tuesday. For Wednesday, we're going to do fried flounder, which we've kind of been doing every other week. Again, no recipe for that. It's just frozen flounder, individually frozen flounder pieces, and then I just dip them in breadcrumb and egg. Of course, they're defrosted, but I purchased them as frozen. Defrost them, dip them in egg and breadcrumb, and just fry them up. And then for a side dish, I'm going to be making spinach with garbanzo beans, which is from allrecipes.com. And I haven't made this in a while, but it's pretty good. I really like chickpeas, and pretty much what you do is you kind of cook the chickpeas and spinach, fresh spinach, in a pot together, and you kind of mash the chickpeas a little bit so that they get a little bit softer. And I think it's a really good side dish. It's really healthy. So I thought that would go good with the fried flounder. And then I'm just going to do some type of boxed rice on the side. One of those flavored type rices, where they have chicken flavor or rice pilaf, or I don't know, just one of those Rice-A-Roni type boxed rices to go on the side with that. So that's for Wednesday. For Thursday, we're going to do breakfast for dinner. We usually always do either breakfast for dinner or soup and grilled cheese on Thursdays because that's the night that I go grocery shopping. So I try and keep the meal really quick and easy to make because I don't want to have to cook a big meal after I get home from shopping, put all the groceries away, and then I have to cook. So I'm just doing turkey bacon in the oven. You can do the same thing with regular bacon. It tells you how to cook it on brendid.com. That's where I found it from, but there's really not much to it. You pretty much just take the bacon, put it on a cookie sheet, and bake it in the oven at 400 degrees for 10 minutes on each side. But you want to check it once you flip it after the first 10 minutes because sometimes it doesn't need to go another full 10 minutes. Maybe do it for like 5 and then check it and see if you want it to cook longer. Because of course you can always add more time, but if it overcooks, then there's not much you can do about that. And then I'm also going to do scrambled eggs, and I'm going to do hash brown casserole, which is from allrecipes.com. This is actually another new recipe for me. It's just one of those like hash brown casseroles where you put like the frozen shredded hash browns and cheese, and it's got cream of mushroom soup in it, and it just bakes in the oven. I thought that would be a good side dish to go with the breakfast for dinner. Only problem is it does take 45 minutes to bake in the oven. So if you're doing this as like a quick, easy meal, what I would suggest is probably maybe pre-prepare it in the morning and then just kind of stick it in the oven when you're about to start cooking so that can be cooking while you're preparing your other stuff, and then it'll be done about the same time when everything else is done. So that's for Thursday. So the last meal of the week is for Friday, July 9th. And for Friday, I'm going to be making cheesy, crispy chicken. So I don't have a recipe link for this one, but pretty much all you do is you just take chicken breast, you coat it with, you dip it in milk, and then you coat it with crushed Ritz crackers, and then you just cook in a 9x13. Oh, and then you top with cheese. So you take the chicken breast, you dip it in milk, then you dip it in the Ritz crackers, and then you sprinkle cheddar cheese over top, and you bake it in the oven at 400 degrees for 35 minutes. You do have to cover it with foil before you bake it. Sorry, I'm just trying to, it's like my own notes on how to make it. I don't have like a recipe link, so I was trying to just read it really quick. But we really like how that comes out. And then for a side dish with that, I'm just going to do broccoli pasta side dish, which is from Taste from Home. And it's just like spaghetti noodles or linguine with fresh broccoli, and you just like saute the broccoli and you cook the pasta and you mix it all together and you season it with like olive oil, butter, and some garlic powder. This is cloves of garlic, but I just use garlic powder and salt and pepper, and I thought that would go really good with the chicken. And it's got a vegetable in it already, so I'm just doing that one side dish because I figure it's the pasta and the broccoli, and then we'll do that with the chicken. So that's it for this week's meal plan. I hope this was helpful for you. Hopefully maybe it gave you some motivation, even if you don't like any of these recipes, to kind of give you some ideas of some things that you like to make to get your meal plan together. Don't forget you can email me with any questions or suggestions at lolasfrugallife@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at lolasfrugallife. You can find blog posts for each of my episodes as well as each of the meal plans, like I said, with the recipe links at lolasfrugallife.com. And I would love to have you join our private listeners group at facebook.com/groups/lolasfrugallife. If you enjoy the show, please make sure to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen from. I would love to hear it. I would love to hear that you're listening to the show. And if you'd like to screenshot me on Instagram, that would be a great way to tell me. And also, if you can take a couple of seconds to rate and review the podcast, that would be really helpful to me. It's supposed to be really important as far as the show being found by new listeners. So that'd be really great. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a really awesome day.